Tony, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Correct Spanish pronunciation would have been, did I get it right? Was it close?
Well, it's vigilante de peso because the word...
I lost you.
Several meanings.
Okay, so explain how that becomes Weight Watchers.
Vigilante means watcher.
Okay.
Or watch, and peso is weight.
So,
I think that there's a do-over that we need to do here.
Oh, so you feel that Sherry was given maybe a little...
she would have gotten it right had it been pronounced correctly?
I don't think she would have gotten it right, but I'm with you, Tony, if I mispronounced it. Vigilante. Did I get that right?
Vigilante de peso.
So the G, which I should have known, would be silent there, as an H, more of an H.
The G is pronounced like an H.
Okay.
So vigilante de peso.
De peso. And that's Weight Watchers.
Another shot.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give her another. Andrew, get her back on. She deserves, according to Tony, based on my terrible pronunciation, she deserves another shot. All right, Tony, thank you for being the pronunciation judge.
All right, guy.
Tony, can I just tell you one thing? You'll be so proud. In preparation for moving to Mississippi, my daughter, she's going to be taking Spanish next year, so she's now learned the Spanish alphabet. And I have a question for you.
Which makes her a genius in Mississippi.
I know.
Oh, really? What happened to the double L and the Nye and the double R in the alphabet? Because it doesn't look like they teach that anymore. Or am I just so old?
The double L is pronounced with a Y sound, right?
Right, but that in the thing that we were looking up, it didn't have that.
What's up with that?
It still exists. Sometimes it's overlooked. I guess that's the easiest way of saying it. That has not been eliminated.
Okay.
All right. Adios, Tony.
Take care, guys.
All right. Peter Franklin's the Gabby Cabby, where in New York City, where many, 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 many languages are spoken. Good morning, Peter.
Sí, senor.
Sí. Buenos dias. Okay, so giant inflatable slide flying through the air. That shot, the video that was seen around the world, and then into power lines. Was that was just near New York City, wasn't it?
No, I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh,
I'm honest. I'm not going to lie and say,
right.
"Oh yes, I know all."
I guess
about
it was the inflatable bouncy house. Did you see the pictures? It was in New York.
No,
maybe it was in upstate New York a little bit. So. But then there's the giant inflatable slide, zip lines, and climbing walls coming to New York City. That's pretty big.
Well, but that's really kind of nifty because it's like a big slide. We're becoming a playground. They have that. They have swimming pools now on barges. Like it's a barge. Imagine it filled with, regular water, not the seawater.
Oh, okay.
And they move that from point to point around the city. They're building they're going to make an inflatable tunnel that goes from Manhattan to Queens. You got the slide there. There's a couple of pictures on the website. But it's becoming, if we could only get rid of the crime, but that's everybody else's problem too. This would be paradise. It really would. And unfortunately, most of the crime is coming from the cops.
Is that coming to like Times Square? They're going to do the zip line and stuff like that?
Well, they can move it for here, there, and everywhere.
It's portable.
That's the whole thing, because you got to keep, if you want to be a politician in New York City, you got about 176 distinct groups you better keep happy. So if you're going to have a barge with water, you got to make sure you can move it around so everybody gets to play with it.
Speaking of politicians and boozers and urinators, Mayor de Blasio is really cutting back on the penalties for urinating in public.
I can't put it. Maybe that's not very genteel, but what he's done is it's no longer a criminal offense to pee on the streets. I don't even understand why you would get into that logic.
Right.
So it's going to be a civil offense. So in other words, if you and I stand on the corner of 42nd and Lexington and we pee, we're not going to be arrested as we would have last week. We're going to get a ticket.
Why do you go there? What is the reason for going there?
Going where?
Why would he go there? Why would he?
Because he's stupid.
Okay.
Well, is it also
he's
the
a
only
pig
thing I like
and he's
about
stupid.
Cuomo is that Cuomo hates him.
Yeah.
So that's my redeeming factor with Cuomo, because I'm not a particular fan of his. But it's absolutely the dumbest thing in the world.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is ridiculous.
you want to keep the city. New York, frankly, is a relatively very clean place. It really is, because we give out tickets for this, that, and the other thing. That's fine. But that's the big one. No, you don't.
Well,
allow
there's
that.
nothing worse than smelling on a hot day. That just is not. It's something you don't want to be smelling.
Right.
How about
that's, I guess that's some kind of warped liberalism.
How about the guy riding on the bus in Brooklyn, and the bus driver was like, "Hey, get behind the white line," and the guy clocked him with a bottle.
Well, everybody, when you read that story, you hear about that story, you all know that. I mean, that's one of the things in life everybody knows.
Yeah.
Get behind the white line, right? I mean, no matter where you come from, you know what that means.
Yes.
Well, he told the guy to get behind the white line. The guy did, and he cracked him in the head with a bottle, which I'm using as an illustrative point, is that some of our bus drivers get into those encounters, unfortunately, because in addition to people peeing on the streets, we got a number of wackos roaming around who do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think a nice penalty for hitting a bus driver with a bottle should be the guillotine.
That would be
in Times Square while everybody is peeing.
Right. That would be like kind of the zip line thing. It'd be an attraction.
To follow up on the previous segment, I believe that's a double L, and it would be the guillotine.
The guillotine.
The guillotine.
Yeah. All right, and here we go, Peter. I got to tell you, we have an anchor here that she's a young lady from Long Island, and she's just been promoted as anchor to Eyewitness News on the TV station up here, and she was in the studio this week talking about the bagels and how she has a tough time finding New York City style bagels. And I explained to her that Lender's the most authentic New York City bagel out there, right?
Yeah, it is, and it's in supermarkets, so I mean, something is better than nothing. But really, and not to knock Lender's, other than the fact that they're not made in New York, have no connection to New York, but that's okay, and I'm not knocking their business. But if you want a real bagel in this world, you go into a store in New York City where they're actually making the bagel.
Yes.
And that's will knock your socks off.
I was really kind of
every morning a bagel with a schmear.
I was kind of busting your chops a little bit, knowing that Lender's is made in Connecticut, not in New York City.
Yeah, and that, listen, you can, as a New Yorker yourself, you can appreciate these Johnny-come-latelys who try to imitate our city and our state. You don't have any listeners in Connecticut, do you?
There is nothing like a real, authentic New York City bagel. So.
Yeah, but you got to get it where it's actually made, and there's many places.
All right, Peter. Good stuff. It's Gabby.com is the website. The best tour in New York City. Peter speaking to people and talking about New York City all over the world each and every day. We appreciate your time, Peter. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, Peter Franklin. We didn't connect well today. I don't know what was going on. Every time I threw something out there, he didn't understand what I was saying. We were off. Hold on tight. Another chance of that money. WIBX Utica Rome.